First off, I'd like to thank Bishop Carol, his First Lady, and Elder Sims for allowing me this opportunity to come speak to the youth. I won't be here that long. I know how today's youth are. They don't like to listen to people talk for a long period of time. So I'm not going to change up. A little bit about me. I'm from down the country. Most people from Annapolis, they consider it down the country. If it's not Shady Side of Gainesville, they never heard of it. So I'm just going to say I'm from down the country. And I grew up in a household, single-parent household, but I was fortunate enough that my mother had a good job, so she was able to pay both sides. So I'm an example that just because you don't have your father in your life, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. You can't use it as an excuse. But one thing I will say is that I don't hold any grudges towards him either. I still visit his grave as if he was in my life, forever. But I don't hold a grudge, and I just look at it as a learning experience. So if I'm ever in that situation, I know how to handle that situation myself. I've been fortunate enough. Lucky enough, I was decent enough in athletics. I was able to get a scholarship in basketball and stuff like that. But more importantly, in my proudest moment, that I was able to get a 4-year degree in economics. And anybody that knows me, and he's known me for a long period of time, his nephew, Dwayne, is one of my best friends. So he's seen me from when I was a youngin'. And they'll tell you, I was far from a nerd. And don't get it twisted, I wasn't in the streets, but I might have, been around some suspect dudes, but I knew when and when not to separate myself from those guys.
Amen. There you go.
One of my good friends I grew up with, near and dear to my heart, he's still my boy, but I realized that what I wanted to do in life, that I couldn't be around him, whether it be in a car and stuff like that. And I'll tell you the story. I had a kid on my team, at that time I was a kid as well. I had a dude on my team that was a good basketball player in Baltimore City. He was telling us all the story about how he was riding in the car with one of his friends, and he didn't know his friends was beefing with another dude downtown in Baltimore, in Harwood. They rode up beside him, shot in the car. He still has that scar. Luckily, he survived. His friend did. You know what I mean? So that's why it goes into what he says. You have to watch the company that you keep. But I was born in the day that, enough talk about myself, forgive me. I'm a husband. I was asked to talk about academics and athletics. And one thing I like to let kids know these days that, you can't have one without the other. Academics is very true to my heart. I work down in Southern, so I see it every day. Athletics, of course, basketball has created a lot of opportunities for me, and it's built a lot of relationships. A lot of the people that I've met, a lot of the friendships I've developed, has been because of the game of basketball. And I'm fortunate enough that God gave me an ability to do that. But one thing I think kids don't realize is that you have to take care of one without the other. There's just a lot of benefits from playing sports. A lot of people fail to realize that most students that are involved in activities, not just sports, but whether it be dance or chorus or that type of stuff, their grades are better. For years, everybody used to say, used to be that term, the dumb jock. But I went to a seminar earlier this year, and one of the first things they did when they showed statistics, they showed how the kids that were involved in activities, their GPA was higher than the ones that are doing nothing. And I think a lot of that has to deal with the fact that those kids look at school as a job because they have nothing to look forward to. Whether a kid, such as somebody like Jerry's that played for me this year, he might not have had fun at school from 7 to 2 o'clock, but he knew at 2:30, he knew he had basketball to look forward to, so it motivated him to get grades in the classroom. And I think that's right. It also requires focus and dedication, which a lot of kids have a hard time dealing with right now. Something goes wrong, the first thing they say is, I don't care, and I quit. It's not realistic. If you have a family, you can't just quit your job. It helps improve your social skills because it forces you to deal with people with different race, beliefs, and social economic backgrounds. It also teaches you how to problem solve. I see a lot of times where you see certain kids gravitate to people that they're comfortable with. But on a sports team, you may have that kid whose parents are government employees, or you might have that one kid whose parents are on Section 8. And that doesn't make any kid better than the other, but it teaches you not to look down on people and not to be envious of people. It also lowers the risk of negative influences because you're reducing your time of unsupervised. It reduces your unsupervised time. You play a sport, you don't have all day to go home and just do this and do that. Maybe you might go smoke or do some stuff like that. You play a sport, you don't have time. You may have somewhere you need to be, so it keeps you busy. Exactly, purpose, exactly. And it teaches you life lessons such as punctuality and the forbidden word failure, which I think nowadays a lot of parents are afraid to say, and which is not a big deal. I think failure is one thing that parents need to let kids know it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
That's right, that's right.
But as far as the benefit of sports, you can't have one without the other. And like I tell the kids, student comes before athletes. I'll say it again, it's a reason why student comes before athletes. You know what I mean? And being at a predominantly white school, I really, care a lot about black kids. Because there's not that many of them. And so you have to look out for the ones that you have. And one thing I try to let these kids know that it's not an even playing field. Regardless of how much money you have, and regardless of how popular you are, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're still going to look at you as an African American. If you don't believe me, ask O.J. Simpson. If you don't believe me, ask Tiger Woods. Those guys are at the top of the world, living in a white man's world, and as soon as something negative happened, what happened? They just attack him, and attack him. So it lets you guys know that regardless, I'm not telling you guys to use it as an excuse, because I will say that we do use it as an excuse a lot. Am I lying? We do. But I just want you guys to be conscious of it, that you're going to be starting off in a negative, regardless of who you are or not. It's a reason for you guys that want to go to college. It's a reason why they raise these standards. They're not raising these standards because of the white kids. They're raising the standards because of the black kids. They didn't even used to have academic standards back in the day, but as soon as the minority started playing, all of a sudden, here comes these academic standards out the blue. They can't come out and say it's just for black kids, but at the end of the day, some things go without being said. So we need to make sure that we understand that. Especially for those kids that are coming from low-income families or from school systems that are underperforming. They're not thinking about those type of schools. They're only thinking about the suburban white kids. And again, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but it is the truth, and it's really something that you need to hear. But I also think one of our problems in the black community is I think that we don't put enough focus on academics. If we can go to a PTA meeting, and I don't see that many black parents here. But when Southern played Annapolis in basketball, the gym was packed. Am I lying? Think about it. The gym was packed. And the thing about it is we don't realize that I go to some of those meetings and I may be one of the few blacks there, and I hear the white people say stuff like that. Even one time, it's sad, I heard the one lady say, they wanted to have a survey, a county survey, to Annapolis parents. And they said that, in order for us to do it, we're going to have to do it at a game. That's sad. Because they don't think enough of us to be able to be responsible enough to respond in an email or send us something home that they feel that they need to force you to do it at a game. I think that's pretty sad.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that we definitely need to get better with. But to the youth, I have some advice to you guys for the real world. Your job is to be a student athlete, and it is possible to do both. And regardless of what you have to do, you definitely can do it. So don't let yourself think that it's too much, because a lot of people before you have done it. Take advantage of that situation. 2, make the most of your failures. Learn from it. If you get a bad grade, study harder. If you don't get a lot of playing time, you don't quit. You work harder and find out what the problem is and solve it. So just understand, like I said, that word failure is nothing wrong to fail. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. And you know what? There's some things in life you're just not good at. And it's okay with that. But as long as you tried and you know you gave it your all, that's all important. You have nothing to hold your head down. 3, don't be afraid to seek help. I think a lot of teens nowadays, and the reason why the suicide rate is going up is because a lot of kids keep stuff bottled in. These kids have a lot more pressures than we had. Social media is off the chain nowadays. When I was playing, if somebody dunked on you, nobody would know. Nowadays, if somebody dunked on you, people in Virginia and freaking Florida know. I mean, that's just the way it is. So if you have a problem, you don't necessarily have to go to a parent. There's so many resources out here that you guys had that we didn't have when we was younger. Take advantage of it. Don't keep stuff bottled in, because eventually you never know what's going to happen. And it's easy to say, I won't do this, I won't do that, but you know what? When you're back up against the wall, you'd be surprised what you do. And last but not least, always have a plan B. And when I say having a plan B, I'm not trying to shatter your dreams, but the reality of you guys being a professional athlete is slim to none. I'll say it again, slim to none, less than 2%. Which means you have to have a plan B. So I don't want you guys to walk out here today and say, oh, he said, I'm sorry, I'm not going. I'm not saying you're not going to work hard, because stuff has happened. But my thing is, don't put all your eggs in that one basket. Have a plan B. Know that, you know what, even though I didn't get a chance to go play to the NBA, I still was able to use my talent as a vehicle to get a free education or get into a school that I normally wouldn't have been able to get into. So it's not the end of the world. So just because you don't play a professional sport don't mean that you can't use your sport. Okay? And that's just a little bit of advice that I want to give you guys. And last but not least, in closing, because I've been talking too long, the $1 million question to me, and I say this all the time, is we need to find out why kids nowadays look up to losers. It seems like we don't look up to the people who stress in education. We put those people that are out there in the corner selling drugs on a pedestal. But the community activist, or the guy that works a 9-to-5 job to put food on his table to make ends meet, we look at him as a loser. But at the end of the day, those ones that's selling drugs, that's bringing the community down, that's robbing people, those are the losers in my eyes. We looking up to people who drive fancy cars but can't balance a checkbook. People that have fancy jewelry but don't even have insurance. But we look up to people like that. And like I said, we're in a society where African Americans, whether we believe it or not, are at a disadvantage. We need an education, whether through a book or through a trade. And if athletics can be a vehicle as a motivation or a means to get a scholarship, we need to take advantage of that. Don't be one of those shoulda, woulda, couldas. I see them all the time. They come to our games. I see them Friday night at the Y. Don't be one of them people. All right? And at the end of the day, if you remember one thing that I said, is always remember that regardless of how bad it is for you, it could always be worse. Thank you.